good morning. It's your girl, Lady L. And listen, we got a fantabulous show lined up for you today. We have some guests coming in to discuss Halo's Kitchen. We're going to be talking about the Pretty and Pink Pageant, but that's just not it. We're going to be TCP in the morning if we weren't bringing you the morning news. So listen, y'all, we're going to be talking about Roe versus Wade. Yes, that is back into the headlines again, ladies. Protect your uterus, okay, because they coming for it. Not only that, but we're talking about the Crown Act. It's still making its way across the United States. And last but not least, but before I let you go and remind you to share this stream, I want to let you know that if you don't have one, you're going to need to get one. I'm talking about a real ID, baby. Yes, 2022 is the year it's going down. You're going to have to get a real ID if you plan on traveling anywhere across the United States. And let them know, share the stream. You're going to hear all of these stories and more on TCP in the morning. Let's go.
My name is Dana Hamp-Gulick. I'm a candidate for the 96th House District, and this is my story. Born here in Lancaster, I went to Manheim Township High School. I went to the University of Pittsburgh, where I earned 2 bachelor's degrees, one in German language and one in communications. And then I started my career in marketing. People should vote for me because I'm going to bring the bold moves and the vocal advocacy and the willingness to really be strategic and to push on pushable places and pull on the pullable ones. I'm going to do the work that I think is not being done in this district right now. Most important is that I am a single mother to a 17-year-old daughter. I am a caregiver to my aging mother, and I serve on the board of 2 local nonprofits that help families in crisis. 2022 brings us a brand new district in the 96th that has been redrawn, and we have an opportunity to send 2 Democrats from Lancaster County to Harrisburg for the very first time ever. There has been the same representative here for 30 years, and a lot has changed in 30 years. The world has changed drastically since my opponent was first elected. And I think now is the time to replace somebody who is comfortable and out of touch with somebody who is hungry and passionate and wants to do this work. I'm going to focus on raising the minimum wage immediately so that families can work 40 hours a week and afford a place to live. Everybody, every family should be safe, healthy, and thriving. And I think I'm the person for that at this time. My name is Dana Hamp-Gulick. I'm candidate for State House in the new 96th District, and I approve this message.
It's morning. Wake up, guys. It's TCP in the morning.
Wake up!
Wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. It's TCP in the morning.
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 TCP in the morning.
It's 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 TCP in the morning.
Good morning. Wake up, y'all. It's TCP in the morning with the morning tea.
Sing the song here in a minute.
TCP in the morning.
Hey, it's kind of lonely up here.
I heard it coming. I heard it coming before you came out. Yeah, I knew it.
Just a little bit, you know. Enjoying the elbow room, but
missing our guy.
You know, just missing a homie. Shout out to the Sarge. You are in our prayers. Peace and blessings to you. Condolences to you and your family as you navigate through this difficult time with the death of a loved one. It's never easy, but please know that you have a family here at TCP in the morning and TCP Media Group, as you already know, and you have a gang of folks that are supporting you each and every day, brother. Strength and condolences to you, folks. We have a explosive show today. So not going to wait any longer. Let's give them to him, y'all. Hey, welcome to the welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, wake your ass up, brush your teeth, brush your ass, because your morning team is black. Just to let you know, folks, like we said, we have a explosive show today, so make sure you share that stream. Friends don't let friends, TCP alone. Speak to us, talk to us, let us know how you doing, where you at, and ultimately, who you with. Who are you with? Let us know. Good morning, folks. Don't be rude. Say it back. TCP, the best thing that you can have in your cup, folks. I really want to jump right into it because, I mean, we have Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Like let's just start right there. Let's just start with Roe v. Wade overturning, and what that means, the ramifications. You know, if you voted, or did not vote. Let's keep it there. If you did not vote in 2015, 2016, you really cannot complain. This is the price of complacency, folks. This is the price of complacency. So let's get into it. But first, Lady L, what up?
Hey, y'all, listen. I heard him talking about it was because some of us didn't vote. Child, that thing was coming down the pipeline whether you voted or not. It's about your uterus and a man controlling it. Whether you voted or not, it was coming down the pipeline, y'all. I don't care what you say. They was going to take your right to procreate on your own time away from you, ladies. It was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. And nobody was going to save us. And I'm always asking that, who's going to come save us when the craziness keeps getting worse? But here we are. Here we are. And we're going to be talking about it today and so much more. So listen, guys, before we go ahead and get on into it, I want you to go on ahead and share that stream. Because what? Friends don't let friends, TCP in the morning alone. That's right, gentlemen. Handsome husband co-host.
Look, I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all keep on listening to Lady L, and we're going to end up in a handmaid's tale. That rhymes for a reason, folks. Like to introduce myself. People call me Hove. They really don't. I go by the name of Marquise Lupton, also known as DJ
Quiet Storm.
One of 3 hosts, one of 4 personalities on this thing we call TCP in the morning. The best thing that you can have in your cup. Folks, like we said, we have a jam-packed show for you today, and we have some guests. Cannot wait to get into it. But, what we're talking about today, like I said, jam-packed. Roe v. Wade is overturned. Also, the April PA tax collection in Pennsylvania, it's the highest that it's been in years. So what are our elected officials going to do with the state budget coming up in June? Also, York introduces its own Crown Act. What is this going to mean for York City, and will other cities follow? Boom, you see this eye? I'm looking right at you. Lancaster and Harrisburg, will you follow suit? Lebanon, Reading, Enola, all of those in between, Mechanicsburg, Chambersburg, Shippensburg, we are looking at you. And finally, menthol cigarettes. Reports show that menthol cigarettes have been targeted towards the black population for decades.
Yep.
And in other news, water is wet.
Right, like we weren't walking down the streets as kids and seeing these big signs of like the fancy man with his cigarette or this beautiful lady with her cigarette. I remember, so here's the thing. I grew up in a household where I was told ladies don't smoke. I was told ladies don't smoke. You look like a streetwalker if you smoking. Yes, that is what I grew up in. You look like look, see, homeboy gonna be a guest on the show today, and he is nodding his head and agreeing like, yes, that is a thing.
Heavy. Yep, co-signing heavy.
That is a thing, right? So I grew up in a household, so smoking never was a thing to me, even though my mother smoked. But even though she smoked, she would still say what? No, prostitutes smoke, whores smoke, you don't smoke. Like, it was weird, but
one of those do as I do, do as I say, not as I do things.
So it was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. I don't want to smoke anyway. Like, I'm good. So I actually grew up most of my life being one of those people that's like, oh, smoking's bad. Don't smoke. We had the posters in our classrooms of all the different animals that were smoking, and it said, "You look just as silly when you do it." And it was like a duck was smoking, a monkey was smoking, a cow was smoking,
Right.
and that was all I needed as a child. A couple of posters. My mama telling me bad people smoke cigarettes.
Right,
That was all I
the
needed.
messaging was there.
Right, that was it. That was good. So this is really interesting that they have seen, or they're accepting the truth that Black communities have been targeted for menthol, cigarette smoke, nicotine, and things of that nature. But that's not all, right? We know about environmental racism. We know that they build our communities on top of toxic land. We also know that they put us in positions to live in toxic communities, right? We know what lead can do to your brain and your development, and yet cities will purposely put communities of Black and brown people with high lead levels, with high toxicity, and then sit there and be like, oh, I don't understand why the crime's like this. I don't understand why the kids are like this. I don't understand. When it's like, well, you purposely set up the institution and set up the situations for it to be this way. So listen, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Let me give a special shout out to you who shared the stream. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Now listen, if you have not already, please go share the stream. Listen, y'all know one of my most favoriteest people is up in the studio this morning, and I'm sure she wants some of y'all's favorite person too. Yes, I got Big D in the building, Mr. Lee. Woo, 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 woo.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Lee from the Ann Street Neighbors and Nan is up and through here today. I can't wait for y'all to meet her if you have not already. She is a pillar in our Southeast community here in Lancaster. Listen, I don't know why she didn't run for a mayoral position, but she puts on the debate. She just won't run herself. But yes, Miss Darlene Bird is here to join us this morning as well. I can't wait. Go ahead and start sharing the stream, guys. Share the stream. Handsome husband co-host, what's going on?
Folks, I think it's about that time. Let's get this thing started. It's 8:15. It's a cool, brisk outside, but things are about to heat up in the studio because this news is spectacular. I will tell you this. 1 for 1, TCP in the morning. We'll get it done. Stick it with us, y'all.
Hey, time to give the people, yeah. Give the people what they want, and that's the news.
With the shimmy. Thanks for stopping by. Our first story today, folks. Damn it. Oh, man. The Supreme Court has voted or will be voting to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, man, oh man, this is disappointing. This is scary. This is shocking. Really, and I believe that this is only the beginning or the tip of the iceberg. So this comes from Politico.com. The Supreme Court has voted to strike down the landmark Roe v. Wade decision, according to an initial draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito, circulated inside the court and maintained by Politico. The draft opinion is a full-throated, unflinching repudiation of the 1973 decision, which guaranteed federal constitutional protections of abortion rights, and subsequent 1992 decision, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, that largely maintained the right. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, Alito writes. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled, he writes in a document labeled as the opinion of the court. It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. Deliberations are controversial cases have in the past been fluid. Justices can and sometimes do change their votes as draft opinions circulate, and major decisions can be subject to multiple drafts and vote trading, sometimes until just days before a decision is unveiled. The court's holding will not be final until it is published, likely in the next 2 months. The immediate impact of the ruling, as drafted in February, would be to end a half-century guarantee of federal constitutional protection of abortion rights and allow each state to decide whether to restrict or ban abortion. It's unclear if there have been subsequent changes to the draft. No draft decision in the modern history of the court has been disclosed publicly while the case was still pending. The unprecedented revelation is bound to intensify the debate, what was already the most controversial case on the docket this term. The draft opinion offers an extraordinary window into the justices' deliberations in one of the most consequential cases before the court in the last 5 decades. Some court watchers predicted that the conservative majority would slice away at abortion rights without flatly overturning a 49-year-old precedent. The draft shows that the court is looking to reject Roe's logic and legal protections. So, a person familiar with the court's deliberations said that 4 of the other Republican-appointed justices, that's Thomas, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett, have voted with Alito in the conference held among the justices after oral arguments in December. And that lineup remains unchanged as of this week. The 3 Democratic-appointed justices, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan, are working on 1 or more dissents, according to the source. How Chief Justice John Roberts will ultimately vote and whether he will join an already written opinion or draft his own is unclear. So, folks, we have here, I would say the degradation, the backsliding, the deterioration, all the bad stuff. Insert adjective here. It's disappointing. Yeah. It's Lady L. What are your thoughts on this? Because I'm flabbergasted, honestly. Because I really feel as though that this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning, and if we see the midterm elections, if we see that play out the way that experts are saying that it is, again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we're going to see more of this right-wing legislation come down the pipeline.
So for those of you who do vote, I would like for you to vote with your womb if you have one. And I say that because this is just a slippery slope. Today they are coming for your right to abort, and I promise you next time around they're going to come for your right to be on birth control. That'll be the next thing, right? Because then it'll be, oh, well, you're not allowing your body to have a baby if God wants you to be pregnant. That'll be the next thing, right? Because we've already seen the right discuss how, not only is abortion wrong, but it's also wrong to have those things in your body, the birth control in your body is also seen as another moral issue, right? So if you have a womb, I promise you, if there's somebody in your family that has a womb and you love them, I want you to vote in support of these people. I wanted to share, here we go. So I wanted to share a little bit about Justice Alito and what he put out there for the appeals of the Fifth Court. He said abortion presents a profound moral issue on which Americans hold sharply conflicting views. Some believe fervently that a human person comes into being at the conception and that abortion ends an innocent life. Others feel just as strongly that any regulation of abortion invades a woman's right to control her own body and prevents women from achieving full equality. Still, others in the third group think that abortion should be allowed under some but not all circumstances, and those within this group hold a variety of views about the particular restrictions that should be imposed. For the first 185 years after the adoption of the Constitution, each state was permitted to address the issue in accordance with the views of its citizens. I'm gonna just stop right there. So essentially, what this man is saying is that he wants to leave abortion rights up to the states. Right, those people. Now, listen, if you live somewhere like in a place that's purple, like where we live at, that means that essentially abortion laws could change every 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
Because that's what happens. The pendulum always goes back and forth, right? We get a Democratic governor. Right now we have a Democratic governor, Wolf. Everybody's going to be mad at him. Then we're going to get a Republican governor. Before we had Wolf, we had a Republican governor. Everybody got mad at the Republican governor, went Democratic. Now everybody's mad at the Democratic governor. Theoretically, we're going to go Republican this next time around.
It ain't theoretically. We are.
So here's the thing. With keeping abortion at a state level, again, like I said, that means that these laws are going to be changing every 3 to 4 years. That means that every time we get a new governor, they're going to put their own stank on the law. Right? So we get a governor who's like, oh, I got to be tough on abortion. You know, guess what he's going to sign into law?
Yep.
Tough abortion laws, right? And then if somebody says, oh, well, I'm going to one-up that last governor. I'm going to make sure that you can't get birth control. You know, you going to need ID to buy a condom. Like, it's not too far-fetched, guys. I mean, we're talking about in the United States alone that there are already states where you cannot get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? So here we are now talking about the highest court in the land, doubling down.
Yeah. Yeah, like I blame all of you people. Yeah. I blame all of you people. Because yo, like really think about it.
If you ain't vote.
Yo, and if the support isn't out there, then this doesn't happen. Like if there's not people that want this, then this doesn't happen. So I blame all you people that are okay with this, because I mean this is exactly what you wanted. Let's get to the comment section because you guys are going off. Good morning this morning, Jeff. Good morning to you, Neville. Good morning. Neville said good morning.
I know. He's a mess this morning.
Nyla, good morning to you. Corinne, good morning. Sabrina, always great to see you. Good morning. Thaddeus says, our prayers up, Sarge. Good morning, my people. Good morning to you, good brother. Neville, there you go. Good morning. Sabrina, under his eye. Dixon, Sarge.
Squad.
Again, good brother. Prayers and share the stream. Candace, good morning to you. Oh, we got the Brinsons. We got the Brinsons watching. Brinsons, good morning. When you need a commercial, just let me know. I'm ready. Brinsons, briskets. Get it now, get it hot. Get it hot, wait. Todd, good morning, says miss you, Sarge. Ray, good morning to you. GI says cool billboards all in the hood. And Hennessy and Crown Royal.
Oh, man, I got to... When we get to that story about targeting black communities, I got to tell you how, my uncle, who at the time was deep into the church, had saw an advertisement on a billboard and had told me how it could lead to a life amiss.
Yeah.
From a billboard. And I'm like, this how you live in here? This is what the Christian mind, how that works. Okay. So, yeah, I can't wait to share this story with y'all because it was crazy because I was like, oh, man, you done spiraled out of control.
Dr. Ricks, good morning to you. GI says people don't understand the seriousness of overturning Roe v. Wade. It opens up the possibility of overturning other Supreme Court landmark cases. Exactly.
Precedent.
Such as same-sex marriage, civil rights, and so on. I have been stating for years that we as a country are moving closer and closer to civil war. The outrageous manner in which our elected officials behave on both sides on the aisle are spawning new radicals every day. That part. The Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, is like a tall elm being hacked at by the sharp axe of anarchy. Love that visual that you're painting there, brother. The lesser laws will be pulled up by the roots. I fear what this country is becoming. It has never been for the black man, but what is becoming isn't even American. It's the bastardized result of political inbreeding and antiquated ideas that are fancied by racists, bigots, and misogynists. The fact that most of the justices sided with RVW during their confirmation shows just how deceitful our system is. Woo! A word. Lisa says, good morning. Rebecca says, get out of my uterus. Sarge says, look at the states that will pass bans on abortion. It's some straight hen's male tail-ish. And Sabrina says, I aborted my uterus, but I will continue to fight for the abortion rights of all women. Sarge says, okay, well then snip guys who don't take care of the first 2 kids after that snip or clip until they can sustain themselves and add another life. Thaddeus says, exactly, they really want the Handmaid's Tale to be real life. Blandon, good morning to you. Dr. Campbell, what is going on? She says, Queen Whitney House of Lupton, first of her name, is correct. This is exactly what Justice Alito is saying. He's questioning the whole broader idea of autonomy. He says the idea of autonomy has no historical standing in American history. Even this country was literally formed by fighting for their own autonomy from the British Empire. This whole white male patriarchy is something else. Indeed. And then says, GI, literally what he said in his ruling. He named these specifically. And then says, are we ready to talk about how problematic it is that 53% of white women who voted for Trump, how elections have consequences? Exactly. And we're going to get into that after these comments, because it's the women. It's the women, not to point any fingers, because dudes, you are very much so complicit in this, but the support from the women, it's very confusing. But we're going to get into that. Andrew, Sarge says, we all know it was Justice Thomas's wife that did the leak, more than likely. Sabrina says some states are governed by land over people. Republican counties have far less people per square mile than Democrat counties. That part. Lovely said Barbie, good morning to you. Rebecca says, if you have a daughter, sister, mom, aunt, female friend, get out and vote. Abortion is not simply ending a life. It can actually be removing an unhealthy fetus in order to save a woman's life. Exactly. Exactly. Man, y'all are going off. Go off. Go off. I love it. Because this is something now that needs, I mean, it's been needing all of our attention and energy. But now seeing it be, this close of being overturned, and then to the point that it being, basically overturned in the middle of the night, is the most insidious thing about this. This stuff that's done behind closed doors. That's why we have this distrust of our politicians. And now, SCOTUS. Lady Al, what you got to add?
So I just wanted to just scientifically just kind of address some things. Dr. Kamika Campbell, drop down in the comments. Dr. Sharice Hamlin, if you're watching as our black lady doctor, go ahead and drop down in the comments, because this is just for you. First of all, the white women who voted mostly for Trump, I wonder about their economic status and how that plays a part in how you view child rearing and building a family. I know a lot of black women who purposely would say, I'm not having a family until, and all these things had to be met. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wonder if the economics of those women played a part in how they chose to vote. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm poor and I'm super broke, you know what? I don't want to have another baby, right? Because then I think, oh, now there's even more money that I got to put out, right? But I wonder how that plays a role as far as their economic status and how they choose to vote. Also, physiologically, a woman can literally just have one baby at a time. You have one pregnancy at a time, right? There's 12 months in a year. It takes 10 months to make a baby. That's 40 weeks. Do the math. Okay, so I can only have one child per year. How many children can a man make per year?
As many as he wants.
365 if he could.
Right, he can literally make a baby every day of the year. If he found a woman to impregnate every single day, he could make sure that he's having a baby every day of that next year.
Crazy.
But you want to monitor my body, and I can only make one person at a time, but not monitor the person who can make an infinite number of people at any given time? It seems a little misconstrued, like these people never paid attention in biology class. You want to stop me from making, I can only have one baby at a time, not the man who literally makes fresh babies every day. I'm born with all the babies I'm ever going to have. That means that every time I have a period, I'm technically losing a baby, right? Because I didn't get pregnant. But a man makes fresh sperm every day. Every single day. And you, again, want to monitor me and my body. Come on now. And also, my last point, what happened to a smaller government, guys? Now you're going to monitor my body and what I'm doing? Are you kidding? Do you know how many women are walking across America right now? You're going to sit up here and monitor every single woman in her body? Are you kidding me?
Not just everyone, just the black ones.
Look, we got guests in the studio.
Yes,
do you guys have anything you want to add? I see y'all over there talking.
Please
Please join the conversation, guys.
Yeah. Please interject. I'm gonna say this one piece before we throw it to our three guests that we have in the studio today. So, women made an impressive impact when voting for Trump. White women specifically. The 2016 exit polls told us that 52% of white women voted for Donald Trump. As with most exit polls, that number turned out to be not quite accurate. But what we saw was that 47% voted for Trump and 45% voted for Hillary Clinton. Still not great because I mean, when you have Trump versus Hillary Clinton, and when it comes to you being a woman, you would think that it would be a landslide. But here we are. Fast forward to Election Day 2020, exit polling indicates that Trump's support had actually increased with white women, with some major polls putting it at 55%. So this action is actually doing the opposite, which is just weird. Like with more laws and rules coming down against women, there then comes more support from women. So then what I'm seeing here is that it's a more of an economic thing than a gender thing, and these white women specifically identify more with their economic status and their economic standard than their gender, than being a woman. That's why it's so easy to support somebody that doesn't support your gender but supports your bottom line. And that's what we're seeing here. Capitalism over coochie. Lady L.
Oh, that's my favorite C word. Oh man, but yeah, like, no, your husband, you are not wrong. I totally agree with you. I did make a couple little notes, and I don't know what happened to my notes, y'all. Y'all know I like to do notes because I got bad anxiety. And I appreciate that. And that was also something that I was curious about with their economic status. Were they stay-at-home moms? You know what I'm saying? Or were they moms that were out here and had full-time jobs? Like, these are questions that I'm curious to know. Were these women working full-time? Going to work? You know, that plays a part, right? Most moms that work full-time and are raising their kids, they at some point, they're like, yeah, I got enough dang on kids because I got to take this one to here. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, especially if you're a working mom versus a stay-at-home mom, and that's a little bit different, right? Because your home is your work. Miss Darlene, I see you over there looking anxious. You got something you want to share?
Oh, no, we're good. We're good.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking it all in. Great.
Well, this Washington Post report says that white women are not a swing voting bloc. In the past 18 presidential elections, they have reportedly voted for the Republican candidate, breaking only for Lyndon B. Johnson and for Bill Clinton's second term. As political scientist Jane June wrote in 2016, the elephant in the room is white and female, and she has been standing there with the Republicans since 1952. This is because, as a political force, white female rage has long been better at enforcing patriarchal norms than dismantling them. Why? Quite frankly, white women benefit from the status quo. Yes, while change would require burning down that system and building a new one, where they and their children might lose the shared superiority and protection they get by being attached to powerful white men. So, like I said, capitalism over coochie. You know, they choose their economic status. They choose their money over their gender. And not just disparaging women, because men do that as well. Thaddeus says many people, not just women, support things that are against their benefit until it comes to their door. Example, snitching. People say don't, then call the cops if they get robbed. That's a great example. And then says they're testing male birth control pills currently this year. Yep, I'm waiting to get my pill. Waiting to get my pill. Is that the pill or slice and dice? I'm waiting on the pill. Holding out for it.
Yet he's still holding out. We got.
I said holding out for
right,
it.
see the brother over there 9 and said it ain't happening.
Look, it's okay. It's all right, because according to Lady L, as I'm sitting here, I'm making new sperm.
Come on, somebody.
So folks, to wrap this up, and to put a nice little bow on this before we go to our next story and welcome in our guests. The article from the Washington Post says that protection of the status quo was an argument against women's suffrage. A pamphlet aimed at housewives distributed by the National Association opposed to women's suffrage argued that getting the vote would risk the good we already have for evil which may occur. This was also the argument effectively used in the 1960s, saying that equality would be harder, no protection from predatory males, no provision of comfortable homes. Since then, little has changed. Indeed, today, the logic is more insidious. Too many white women, equality means dominating the system like men rather than dismantling it to make it fair for everyone. Keeping the status quo even helps feminists.
Yes. Status over freedom.
Yeah.
Status over freedom.
I mean,
is that what you're really choosing, though? You know what I mean? That's how it feels when I'm listening to everything. It's status over freedom. Really? I'd rather be rich than be able to make my own choices.
If you look at our history as a people, and I'm not talking about us as a people, I'm talking about as a global people, we have always chosen status over what is right. Because it's what they tell you as you were growing up. The British would say it all the time. You're not going to bloody marry for anything other than wealth, and they meant that, and they mean that today. And it's designed to keep everybody who does not reach a certain pocketbook level, and it's a way to control everything. And if you get rid of it, if you keep the masses controlled, then you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff anymore. But the problem is that we, and now I'm talking about my people. We don't have the gumption to get up and get out and do what we need to do in order to make a change. We'll sit around our house and talk about it. We'll sit around the barbershop and talk about it, but we won't get up and implement it. We want the change, but sometimes we don't know how to go about the change. And the way to do that, get out and vote, people.
Yes.
Get out and vote. Go meet your representatives. Go out and talk to the mayor. The mayor has an open door policy. Go talk to your mayor. Go talk to the governor. The governor has an open door policy. Go talk to them. They have an office. And if we do that, then stuff like this Roe v. Wade is going to be overturned because they want to be overturned for one. Two, it's not productive. They're not making no money if there's not no babies being killed.
Kirsten says, "Hey, cousin." Thaddeus says, evangelical Republicans learn God gives free will, but don't want anyone to have it. It's a game of control. It is absolutely a game of control. And to your point, how many of us think like, yo, if I make X amount of dollars, you know, it'll raise me above these problems. I will be above said problems as a woman, as a male, as a black person. I will raise above these problems if I reach this specific economic level. Yeah, and that's what we tell ourselves constantly.
That's why he never came back to the block.
Right, and that's why it's so easy for some of us who quote unquote make it, you know, made it, have a good job, good situation. It's easy for us to do one of two things: either not come back and send an elevator back down, or the only time you come back is to stunt and show people how much you have. You know, LaRock made a similar point yesterday when he talked about, you know, our people aren't as active, especially politically, as they should be, and as we want us to be. And that's why it's so easy for things to be done to us versus us.
For us.
Exactly. There's watching last week tonight. They were talking about environmental racism and how in Indiana on the Luke Oil pipeline.
Yes.
They could have just went from the main station straight across to their destination. Exactly. The reason why they just didn't go straight across was because that was going to go through a rich white neighborhood. So they diverted it, adding about 27 extra miles of pipeline, which is more expensive. But that pipeline was proposed to go through black neighborhoods. And in the testimony, they said, well, you know, we chose the road of less resistance. And that's what happens to us. That's how the powers that be look at us, the road of less resistance. We got to stop that, y'all, because we are becoming our own worst enemy. GI says they have been setting this up for some time now, blocking the left from the Supreme Court every chance they get. Absolutely. Lady L, let's get you in, and then you can take us to our next story.
All right. No, I totally agree. Everything with you guys are saying. We need to keep our head on a swivel as far as these political leaders go this time around. So let's kick it on over to our next story for today. So we're going to be talking about this tax situation. Pennsylvania ended April taking more money in a single month than it ever has in its history, making it a strong financial position as elected officials get to work on the 2022-23 state budget. The Commonwealth collected $6.5 billion last month, which is $1.8 billion over the estimate, according to the state's independent fiscal office, nearly $2.6 billion more than it took in last April. The revenue report released on Monday brings the fiscal year-to-date revenue collections to $40.7 billion, or $4.5 billion above estimate, according to the State Department of Revenue. The independent fiscal office puts the collection slightly higher at $5 billion over its own revenue estimate. With billions ahead and still 2 months of collections to go on this fiscal year, it should make for some easy budget negotiations, right? Not at all. Already, the governor and fellow Democrats are staking out a negotiating position that differs from Republicans, who hold a majority in the House and Senate. In a statement, Wolf said, given that the state is swimming in cash right now, it could afford to make his proposed historic $1.775 billion investment in public education next year to give school districts the ability to lower property taxes. What's more, it can fully fund his $43 billion budget proposal, is less than 9.5% above this year's $40 billion general fund budget, and reduce and reform the corporate net tax income. Republicans, meanwhile, are continuing to urge caution to mitigate against future revenue shortfalls, especially given the signs some economists are picking up that a recession could be imminent. Wolf, however, said the forecasting he sees from nationally recognized financial firms predict that this is not a one and done strong revenue year. The House Democrat leader said with the governor and share his desire to invest in public education, plus spend $2 billion of the unused federal American Rescue Plan money to help struggling families and small businesses. Bottom line, our financial footing is strong enough to allow the General Assembly to make meaningful strides towards improving communities across Pennsylvania, said the House Democratic leadership team. We urge Republicans holding the majority in both legislative chambers to join us in supporting the governor's plan for fair and adequate school funding, making our children and the communities that support them the number one investment in this year's budget. Spokespeople for the Senate GOP leaders either declined to comment or did not respond to a request for comment. Wolf, who is term limited and will leave his position in the middle of next fiscal year, points out that the state was operating on a $2 billion to $3 billion deficit with a rainy day fund balance of $230,000 when he took office back in 2015. Oh, good for him. He did great. And while the Republicans are saying, well, let's save up money for a rainy day fund. Well, I'm sorry, did you tell Corbett that? Because when the person came to take his job, y'all only had $230,000 saved up for a rainy day. Let me tell you, $230,000 ain't going to help Pennsylvania stay afloat for 2 weeks.
Let alone 2 hours.
Let alone 2 minutes.
But now you got billions in access, and now you're telling this man that he's supposed to put all of that in a rainy day fund? Again, did you tell Corbett that? Because this man came in with $230,000. And he's leaving with billions. Are you kidding me? If y'all don't get that money to fair funding, you already got sued Pennsylvania. Why not just do what you're supposed to do? Unless you really don't care about being sued, because guess what? It's not affecting your bottom line as a lawmaker, because for whatever reason, even though taxes continue to change, your income isn't. And I find that disheartening.
You live in a commonwealth. You don't live in a state. And if we get rid of the commonwealth, you won't have that issue. This is why some of the states that were commonwealths that aren't commonwealths anymore are no longer commonwealths.
I dig it, and it doesn't help that we live in, where are we at? Class 3 status city?
Yep.
Class 3 status, and that's a whole nother situation in itself. I remember this last election, people were like, oh, hopefully, we'll have enough people, they'll change our class status to maybe like a class 2 city. Because we have so many people now. No, we still weren't able to change our status, which has a definite impact on how we are able to fund our schools, fund our cities, our roads, and things of that nature. Listen, guys, go on ahead, drop your comments down in the comment box for us so that we can continue to have this conversation. So listen, the Wolf administration said Pennsylvania's total revenue collections have met or exceeded projections for 15 consecutive months. And an economic forecast from the analytics organization says that it will continue over the coming years. So this is fantastic. Listen, a breakdown of April's collections from its 3 primary revenue sources from the State Department of Revenue show the Commonwealth took in $1.2 billion in sales tax receipts. Then we also took in $120 million above the estimate. We did $4 billion in personal income tax revenue, and then $2 billion more than anticipated, and $676 million from corporate tax revenue, which is $300 million above the estimate. So it seems like the state did well. Now, theoretically you would pass that savings on to your people.
No.
Right. What happened to what is that thing called trickle down economics?
That only happened in the 80s.
It never worked. It never worked. So we're going to keep this story short, folks, so that we can get to at least our other two stories with Real ID and the Crown. But this means nothing. You know, I hate to be the glass half empty kind of person, but with a GOP controlled state house, with a GOP controlled state senate.
Come on.
I don't see anyone. And then add this. It's the GOP state house, the GOP state senate, and it's election year. And not just,
Microphone.
Election year. Oh, they couldn't hear me the whole time. They couldn't hear me the whole time. So what I said, folks, was that I'm highly skeptical that nothing is going to change because we have our GOP controlled state house, we have our GOP controlled state senate. It's an election year, and then on top of that, it's a governor election year. So I don't see the GOP controlled House or the GOP controlled Senate giving this governor any kind of anything to celebrate off of, so that the next person, which could potentially be a Democrat, feed and jump off of that. Like, they're going to try to obstruct, so that they can damage the reputation of this Democrat governor. Like, we see this time and time again. It's not up to legislation. It's not up to voting records. It's not up to really who the person is anymore. It's the fact that, hey, you know what? I hate those people and you hate those people just like I do, so I'm going to vote for you. And this is what our voting, not all of it, but a large portion of it has really come down to. Folks, we have 4 guests with us. So we're going to get to this next story, and then have our guests join in. We have 2 guests in here to tell us about a up and coming pageant, and then we have 2 guests in here to talk to us about the deliciousness that will be happening on James Street. Our what may likely be our final story for today. Countdown begins ahead of enforcement deadline to secure Real ID license. This story comes from Penn Live. The 1-year countdown began yesterday for the federal enforcement of Real ID for commercial, domestic air travel, and other federal purposes. With that in mind, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is joining the Transportation Safety Administration and Philadelphia International Airport officials to remind Pennsylvania residents who still want Real ID compliant driver's license and photo ID cards to gather the needed documents now to ensure they leave plenty of time to get the Real ID before the federal enforcement date, according to a press release. Real ID is a federal law that affects how states issue driver's license and ID cards if they are going to be acceptable for federal purposes, such as boarding a domestic flight or entering a federal building that requires federally acceptable ID upon entry. A federal acceptable form of identification, whether it's a Pennsylvania Real ID driver's license or ID card, a valid U.S. passport or passport card, or a military ID, must be used for these purposes on and after May 3rd, 2023. So you have about a year, folks. There's no requirement that any resident obtain a Real ID. Penndot continues to offer standard issue driver's license and photo IDs, according to their release. Since March 2019, Penndot has processed about 8.3 million customers, with more than 1.6 million individuals choosing to opt into the Real ID program. Customers can obtain a Real ID by presenting documents for verification and processing at any driver's license center. Federal regulations require that to be issued a real ID compliant product, Penndot must verify the below documents. Proof of identity. Examples include original or certified copy of a birth certificate, proof of social security number, 2 proofs of current physical PA address, and proof of legal name address, name changes, and proof of address. So, folks, it is rolling out. You have literally 365 days to get your real ID. When a customer gets their first real ID product, they pay a one-time fee of $30 plus the renewal fee, which is $30.50. The expiration date of their initial real ID product will include any time remaining on their existing non-real ID product, plus an additional 4 years, unless the customer is 65 years and older. This expiration date structure means that customers won't lose time that they've already paid for. After the initial real ID product expires, customer pays no more additional fees beyond regular renewal fees to renew a real ID. Extortion at its best, folks. Extortion at its best. This is just a new way to just penny pinch. Penny pinch. Like yeah. $60 for an ID.
Say who you are.
You know
they got your birth certificate.
Right.
Even though they got you in the hospital.
Right.
Come on. They gave you a birth certificate. They gave you a social security number. And then they need $60 to.
Right.
Didn't they just make $4 billion in taxes?
No,
they want us to pay for real IDs now.
They tripled the price. Like, we're IDs, we're driver's license, just like, $20, $25, something like,
reasonable.
Right. And now it's $60, and then we're supposed to sit here and believe. We're supposed to sit here and believe.
I'm real
like
now.
right.
It matters more now that I got this real ID.
Real ID compliant products are marked with a gold star in the upper right corner. Standard issue non-compliant products includes the phrase "not for real ID purposes." It just feels like, you know what? We need more money. So we're going to put this fake stuff ahead of us.
10 more years, we'll have a true real ID.
Right. The realest ID.
Official.
They're going to scan it. It's going to show your face over the last 10 years.
Right. And here's my thing. All right. And maybe I'm thinking too much like Jetsons and Ford with this, but like, why are we still using like physical cards? Like physical ID cards.
Are you talking about the mark of the beast? What else are we going to use? They going to put it in our fingers?
No. But
we don't have to do that. They already gave you the card with the chip in it.
Well, and I'm saying like why isn't there like a secured app or something like that? If we have our finances, and we have our social security numbers on these apps, so we already have sensitive information on these apps. So why isn't there a app for ID for a driver's license?
The people in those positions of power would have to know what an app is.
Well,
most of our legislators are old enough to be our grandparents, great grandparents.
I'm just saying, but then you're gonna pay for in-purchase apps.
Right.
I'm just saying.
They're gonna find a way to get the money.
They're gonna find a way.
They're gonna find a way to get it.
Right. But like why are we still using these antiquated methods like with the turnpike? Like it took the pandemic to just make every lane easy pass. Like, why wasn't it that 5 years ago?
Because they didn't want to have to mail you your bill.
Get with the times. Like get with the times. Having people, and now there's a jobs aspect that sucks. That is because a toll person's job that is actually a well-paying job.
And now they're saving money.
But when I think about like the Ben Franklin Bridge and how there is always traffic, whether you're heading to Jersey or whether you're heading to Philly. Like, there's always traffic at those polls. And it's just like, if you know that the traffic is this thick on the bridge, why not just have everything be Easy Pass, scan my driver's license, and then send it to me? You can do that with, if I don't have Easy Pass and went through Easy Pass, you can do that. So why not just do that with everything else? Like, it just seems like we're just inching to innovation. And it's honestly hurting us. Like us doubling down on actual plastic cards, like that's antiquated. Like even we're moving past cards with the banking system. With now you can pay for stuff straight from your phone, straight from an app. There's these Amazon supermarkets that are popping up now where you just pick stuff up and walk out, and then they'll charge your Amazon Prime. So like it's just we're using all these like antiquated methods that are causing us to lose that's going to cause us to lose this surplus that we have. Lady Al.
But we're also talking about the same group of people who wants to force women to have children, and then tell us that there's no money to help pay for them.
Right.
Well,
so you don't want me getting cash assistance. You don't want me getting food stamps. You're gonna be pissed off if I ask you for Section 8, but you're gonna make sure that I had this baby.
To Lady L's point, there's a group of people in America that want America to go backwards, and that's really stopping us from innovating going forward.
Yeah.
So, well, here's the thing that I wanted to say. So, the Real ID compliant license or identification card is an acceptable alternative sort of identification for domestic commercial flights. Yes, y'all, you're going to need this if you plan on going somewhere on an airplane.
So
TSA is going to be checking for this Real ID.
That's so stupid.
Now,
I'm going to need this to fly to Pittsburgh.
Yes, you're going to need it to fly to Pittsburgh. You're going to need it to fly to Atlanta. You're going to need it to fly to Texas. You're going to need your new Real ID. Now, here's the thing. If you have a passport, you do not need to get your Real ID.
Not everybody can get that either.
Well,
if you got your passport, you don't need a Real ID.
You know that, right?
The Commonwealth doesn't allow all of its citizens to have a passport.
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
Well, what you got to be getting into for the Commonwealth to not want to issue you a passport?
Well, let's take it back to the original conversation we were having. It's that whole Roe v. Wade thing. Because if you haven't insured, and let's look at the other side of that spectrum. Let's just use me instead of you now, lady. Let's say I'm out here and I can make these children every 365 days. Let's say I make a children, I made 2 children just yesterday. Those 2 children, say for instance, the mama now says, hey, I want you to pay for these 2 children fully. She can go down to the Commonwealth and say, hey, Tom, I want to put Joe here on child support. Once Joe is on child support, Joe can't get a U.S. passport.
Wow.
And once Joe can't get that U.S. passport, then Joe's gonna be in trouble because now Joe gotta get on that flight. And now Joe can't get on the flight because Joe don't have no U.S. passport because the Commonwealth won't give him one because he owes child support or he's been put on child support. And then while he's on that child support, the Commonwealth, half of our that we're in the red for, is from child support. For people that have been on child support for 40 years, 50 years, where the child is now grown up and walking around living with mom, taking care of mom and dad now, but they're still paying for that. Yeah. And you still have no child. You still have one. You have the dad out there and the mom out there, whoever, either or, without no type of say-so for the child, 1. 2, now they can't, if they were to go and try to mend that relationship with that child and that child lives in Atlanta, now you can't get to that child at all because you don't have no passport. Right? And can't get on the phone, can't get on the plane. It's a never-ending cycle.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Well, and I guess that's why they call it a trap.
The more you know.
Right. Right. So let's get to these comments. Then let's get to our remarkable guests. Corinne says, the whole political world is just exhausting. I'll never understand how or why these rich folks are making choices for us. This is supposed to be the land of the free. And then Sabrina says, guess I'm just going to carry around my passport because F that.
Right.
And then Gaines Bond says, yep, correct info on the passport and real ID. So folks, we do have some guests in the building with us today. Our first set of guests, we're just going to head on over to the brothers right now. Our first set of guests, a delicious duo, I will say. You all know and heard of, and if you have not tasted Halo's Kitchen yet, what is you doing, Sean? Going ahead and make sure you go down to James Street. What is it, 35 James Street?
30 West James.
30 West James Street. Stop by Halo's Kitchen and get yourself some good eats. This week, you all are doing something especially special with your cuisine and your menu. So first and foremost, can you all tell us who you are, who you with, where you come from, and then can you tell us what is happening this week?
Oh, well, I'm Angel, owner of Halo's Kitchen. We specialize in soul Rican cuisine. We do soul food and Puerto Rican food. Been doing it for a year. We started off as a tent into a food trailer, and now we have a physical location that we opened up last year in November. So we're this week we're bringing in my man right here, Kali. He has his chicken and waffles and some other good stuff, and we're gonna run that throughout. His guest chef over there, gonna run that through, and we're gonna give some good food out to people.
Hello, everybody. My name's Khalid. For the last about year and a half now, I've been getting my restaurant and things together. I'm going to be opening up a chicken and waffle spot here. Me and my buddy are going to partner up here and give y'all some wonderful, good food. I do this because I love food, and I think it's a great way for people to come together. And if you can sit down and you can have a good meal, you can work out a whole lot of stuff. So I challenge y'all, come on down, have some food with us, and we can work on some things while we're doing it.
Yeah. So what can people expect on the menu this week?
Like I said, we're going to be doing our chicken and waffles. There might be some fish and grits, some cornbread, some red beans and rice, and we're going to see how that works out, and we're going to go from there. But we're looking for some good stuff.
Also, we have a breakfast menu. We have French toast. We have steak, egg, and cheese bagels. We have bacon, egg, and cheese bagels. We have a sandwich called the Farmer's Table, which has everything in it. I mean, potatoes, eggs, bacon, burger, cheese. I mean, we have a burger called the Cheesezilla. It's a mac and cheese, grilled cheese with the bacon grilled cheese with the burger in the middle with more cheese. So that's why we call it Cheesezilla. Comes with fries. I mean, we have like, we're very creative, and we try to do things. We have a umami wrap, which is our one of our number one sellers. It's our pening, which is a Puerto Rican style pork that we roast for 8 to 10 hours, and with mac and cheese, with barbecue sauce and spicy sauce that we put on there, and we wrap it up in a tortilla shell. I mean, it's like carrying a little baby. But I'm just saying. But that's we have those. We have the McPoppy, which is a burger with mac and cheese, bacon, it's a bacon jam on top of it. The side chick, which is just a chicken, barbecue chicken and mac and cheese quesadilla, but we call it side chick because it's smaller than all the other ones. But so get yourself a side chick.
Oh. Quesadilla situation always sounds delicious. So. That I'm about to have to go over
and
there.
we also,
let me get that side
we also got specialty bowls. Our specialty bowls is steak, seasoned potatoes, some spring mix, and with a fried egg on top. That's one of the bowls. We have rice and beans, pening, salad, ketchup mayo, and my little platanos on top of it. That's another bowl, and then we have the barbecue chicken bowl with corn, roasted corn, black beans, and crema, cilantro lime crema. So those are our specialty bowls, and they're filling as well. The steak tips, you can get it to the way you want it. If you want it well done, you get it well done. If you want it medium, whatever way you want the tips, I got that.
All right. And then up next, we also have. Okay, all right. So, gentlemen, can you share with us how you guys found each other?
There's this one guy. He works at a hardware store.
Yeah. my best friend through elementary school all the way up to, he was the best man at my wedding. Introduced us.
I worked at the hardware store. So
we've been friends for, good Lord, umpteen years now. And it's just a love and a passion for food and people.
Yeah. I've been cooking since I was 12, so.
And my cooking started when I was about yay big in a little place called Grace Temple Church of God in Christ.
Amen.
And I used to cook Sunday morning. We used to do Sunday morning breakfasts. There used to be something called the St. Valentine's Day tea, where we would put on for hundreds of people all throughout the Commonwealth. And I just love food. One, because listen, my former pastor, my late pastor, God bless his soul, his wife was she was adamant about food. Food made his woman extremely happy. And we would sit for hours and eat cakes and pies and stuff like that. We would go to these different conventions, and whenever we went to conventions, there was always food. And I'd be like, okay, I need some chicken, I need some collard. And you know, it got to me. The bug got me, and I can't get out of it. It's so much that my daughter and me, this is how I came about trying to start a restaurant, because I'm watching like 30-minute meals with Rachel Ray, and me and my daughter would reenact those TV shows. We get recipes and get all the stuff together. So I've been doing this that long that it's therapeutic for me now. I love it.
So then why the collaboration? Like what was it outside of the friendship and everything that made you all be like, okay?
I think we have like the same vision. There's more than just the cooking that we want to do. There's things that we want to do that's community based that we wanted to also help. I'm a convicted felon. And when I got out of jail, I went to 72 applications and got no's. The only place that gave me a place to be was the kitchen. So from there, I started my culinary art journey. I went back to school in 2011, got my GED, went to YTI, got my culinary arts degree. Because even in the kitchen, there still was the thing: if you didn't have a degree, or you didn't know what you didn't put in that. I put in time, but they wouldn't let me get to the next level. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to let you stifle my growth. I'm gonna go to school and get to that next level. And I did. And instead of being a dishwasher prep cook, I'm a line cook / sous chef. So I did my own growth. I took it upon my own hands to grow. And so what my vision is and his is he wants to give back to the kids and give a form of arts. And culinary is an art. Right. And for me, I want to teach convicted felons who don't have that education or don't have or to teach how to cook and be able to job place them. I have a food truck. I can place them in that food truck as a job placement. I have friends that are chefs that are already on board to giving people jobs once we do this. So now what we're trying to do is we're collaborating, trying to get this platform so that we can actually get grants and stuff to build this what we want. So we talked about the kids, we talked about convicted felons, but we also talked about families. We're talking about people in the community who want, like, when we get a place where, like I said, I want a place where there's kitchens that people can come in and use those kitchens at an affordable price where they don't have to run it for $300-$400, $50, $60 where you can go in, make meals for your families, even have classes to teach people how to cook and be self-sufficient for themselves. There's people out here that don't know how to cook. they burn water. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, so just things like that, just teaching community how to cook, nutrition-wise. I mean, just different things. You know, I think with us is our vision that we've seen that, you know, a lot of our stuff, you know, is just right there. Like we want basically the same thing, you know, and it's hard to find partnership where you want the same thing. And when you get in a partnership, it's like a marriage. You know, there is some, you know,
give and take,
you know. So it's just like I said, most of it is just like it's just symbolic. You know, it's right there. You know, we both want the same thing. So I feel as though it's moving in the right way. You know, with people who have the same vision is key.
So why the highlight on Southern cuisine this week out of any other week? Just curious.
Well, I've been doing Soul Rican food. I got collard greens, I got baked mac and cheese, I got rice and beans, I got fried chicken. But I seen his menu and was like, ooh, chicken and waffles. Now I already knew he was going to do chicken and waffles. And I was told, hey, why don't you do chicken and waffles? No, I can't do that. My man got chicken and waffles. I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm going to let him shine on his chicken and waffles. I'm not going to step on him because that's my boy. You know what I mean? So vice versa.
Right.
His daughter said, "Hey, why don't you make some rice and beans?" Nope. Can't.
Right.
He said, "I can't do it."
He's making rice and beans. I can't make rice and beans.
You being in the restaurant world in Lancaster for a while, is there a lot of that? Do you see a lot of like partnering up going on, or would people rather just take your idea and do it their own way?
There's a lot of I say there's a lot of just a lot of people doing their own thing. You know, it's for me it was it's just like I said, it's just the way that we think, the way that we like what we want to do. It's just similar. It's just similar. You know, him wanting to help kids, I'm all about that. Me wanting to help, you know, convicted felons, he's all about that. You know, and just the community thing. It's just the same like just vibe, just the same vibe, and that's what we feeding off of each other.
So then, what's the plan? What's the goal with you two in the next 3 months? In the next 8 months, where do you see this all going?
Well, what you think?
And I see great things for us because, like you said, one of the things like we're most concerned with is not only giving people quality, good food, but we want to do it also while we're doing this as a help to the community and the people around us. And I see us in the next 6-7 years franchising. Franchising ourselves and our ideas out so that other communities can take advantage of this, other cities can take advantage of this. Because listen, the more you invest in your community and the people around you, the better you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I learned that lesson at a very young age. Once again, giving credit to where I came from. I was a minister before this. Grew up, like I said, 49 South Ann Street, Grace Temple. My mentor was the late Dr. Scott A. White. I walked around, talked around, tried to be this man. That's how much I wanted to be like him. He had a love for his community, he had a love for his church, he had a love for his people. And I kind of soaked that up like a sponge. And that's what I have always wanted to do. I kind of stepped away from kind of like ministry work, but this is still ministry. You cannot I can't get away from it. The more people I meet, the more things happen, and the more things are coming together. And I feel like I said, in a couple years, we'll be in a position where we'll be able to help the brother coming out of jail or whatever the case may be.
Kids growing up.
To find themselves.
And families learning how to cook healthy meals. I mean, nutrition is key.
That's a big thing because we have a lot of kids that are what we call latchkey kids that go home and all they have is a peanut butter sandwich or a bologna sandwich or, and now we're trying to give them some options. You don't have to, go home and just have that little ramen noodle packet. Come on over here, you'll get some decent, good food.
Yeah, and you learn how to
you over and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, with this menu coming up of this week, how has it fared out for you before with the community members?
I've gotten some good response from my food. Like I said, I think part of doing with food is you got to do it with love. Love is most important ingredient in your recipe, because if you do it with love and you do it with good intentions, nothing but good can come from it. And something I remember from my young days as a student at the Lancaster City School District and a student of Edward Hand, on the wall above the auditorium says, "Where there is no vision, the people shall perish." And that made a heck of an impact on me as a little kid. Always have a vision, always have a goal, always have something to strive for. And if you don't have that, then you're pretty much lost. But you find somebody that can have a vision and can help you promote your vision, the world is unstoppable. And this is what I found in my friend here. Some of the same
Vice versa.
Some of the same goals, that will get you somewhere.
And I wake up every day, it's 5:30 in the morning, take a shower, and I'm in that kitchen. You know what I mean? I'm constantly there. I'm in it. I'm in it like deep, because it's something that I love. It's a passion in me. It drives me. It drives me like nothing ever drove me before. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what I was born to do. So, I mean, my food speaks for itself. I've put my food, and I mean, right now, I've been in business for over a year. And I mean,
from a tent to brick and mortar, listen, if your goal is franchising, bro, like I see it within 5 years. Like a lot of people never get a storefront.
Yeah, so from a tent, I still have the trailer. We'll still do food. I'd still do food truck events. I have 3 coming up this week. You know, it's just I have a goal in mind, and it's nothing and no one is going to stop me. The only person that's going to stop me if Jesus says, "Hey, it's time for me to go," it's time for me to go. Or if I quit, that's the only 2 people that's going to fire me. Ain't nobody ever going to fire me again in my life.
Dig it. So before we get to our next guests, can you let our people know your hours of operation, and once again, what is happening this week with your menu?
Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7. We probably run Saturday and Friday a little later, and maybe a little bit earlier. Probably Saturday's a little bit earlier, so people can come get some breakfast. Like I said, we're waiting for the waffle iron to come in. As soon as the waffle iron come in, we'll be doing the chicken and waffles. But the fish and grits, that should be going off today. So you can come down and get some fish and grits. We also have rice and beans. We have collard greens. We have yams. We have baked mac. You know, we have some good food. So
will the red beans and rice be on the menu today?
We can make it happen.
All right, listen, I've been craving red beans and rice for like a year and a half, man.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
I'm right there. You was just listen. That must be the right thing. That's been on my mind too.
Like, on my mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't open yesterday.
Right, because we definitely stopped by.
They stopped by yesterday. Yeah. We wasn't open. We were in there prepping hard, though. We were in there prepping hard. Now, for the building, we really want to get that side parking lot where we could set up a stage, have some concerts, some music. His brother has a band, so you know we want a tiki bar back there to serve some juice, some fresh juices. We want to have a grill outside to have outside grilling. You know, ain't nothing like a cookout. Right. Get that smell. Right. Yeah, everybody. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like a cookout.
That's the word. Right
so
there.
You know, we just want to have a good time, have a community gathering, have some fun. You know, serve some good food, some healthy drinks. I mean, if y'all bring your own, that's not up to me. That's no me. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is I want healthy drinks. You know, some pressed juices, but you know, just have some good time and have community gathering. You know,
some fellowship.
Yes. There it is.
So there's no ship like fellowship.
You know what I mean?
Love it,
and we want to get food that feeds the soul. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're gonna feed that soul.
Folks, that is Halo's Kitchen. Yes. We have some more guests. So I will let Lady L introduce our.
One question in the comments. They want to know if you got cabbage.
We just talked about that yesterday. I said, yo, let's make some fried cabbage.
Well, just say it's in the comments. Corinne Hill asked. I wanted to make sure that y'all at least got to answer her question. So
and she says that she'll be through this week. So Lady L, if you can introduce our second pair of guests.
Hey guys, listen up. If you're familiar with the Pretty and Pink Pageant, and if you're not, you're about to find out more about it, because our next guest up, Miss Darlene and her partner for the Pretty and Pink Pageant are here to discuss with us how you can get your tickets, how you can sign up, and so much more. Let's welcome Miss Darlene into the show.
I want to thank Lady Al for inviting me. This is so exciting this morning. I am very politically opinionated. You don't know how hard it was to stay focused on the task at hand.
I kept telling her to talk.
I would love to come
telling her to talk
and speak on issues. I am well read. I know what's happening, and I'm very opinionated. But, South End is a bipartisan organization. We're a nonprofit organization. We've been around since 1930, 33 years now. 1989 we started. We have several committees that address issues in our community. South End was notorious for the gangs and the drugs and the activity. Thus, we formed South End Concerned Neighbor. We are sold out on our community. We're sold out on helping people. We do not create programs for people. We have people that come to have needs, and we address their needs. So you can't come and say, I want you in your housing program. Well, what's your need? Our program is going to be developed over your need and not over a program that you got to come and fit in. We have too many square pegs and trying to put round pegs in it. We don't do that. We've been very successful. We've owned property. We have helped homeowners buy properties. So where South End actually took out the loan and then the money to someone to buy a house because their credit's not there. We have several houses that we do that for. Really not looking to gain, looking to grow our community, and I have to give God all the glory, because sometimes I'm like, why am I in this? Why am I doing this? And because there's no financial satisfaction that, I'm getting rich off of this, but just knowing that we're there to help people is very exciting. We have a lot of good things going on. On Saturday, we're having a flower sale. We always do that. We have a beautification committee. We sell flowers for $0.25. It's more just about, getting the community involved, beautifying our neighborhood. We do it the day before Mother's Day so little kids can come out, get a pot, maybe give the mom a flower for $0.25 for a flower, Mother's Day coming up. We have a public safety day coming up July the 23rd. We're working with Race Temple Church. They're going to be closing off East End Avenue. And it's just going to be a day.
Need a food truck for that?
Yeah, we definitely. I got you.
There it is. There it is.
Look at TCP working.
You were sitting here making me hungry.
Yo, yes. Miss Darlene, yes.
Same over here.
Yes.
I'm over here thinking about Brinson's briskets.
Yes. So we do have a board of directors. We meet monthly. And like I said, we got a lot of exciting things. Our newest project that we own 259 South Ann Street. It's a 2-unit apartment, has a huge warehouse on the back. We now have a proposal before City Council to tear it down, and we are going to build a community center there and add an apartment.
Yes.
It
Much
is.
needed.
And the struggle is real. Like, you want to talk about politics, we're looking for money. There's ARPA money out there, the American Rescue Plan Act. The city has $34 million. What are we spending it on? And when you say we're not involved as a community, we have to take a seat at the table of politics. We can't say it don't matter. Oh, I'm not doing it. I ain't voting. No, if we want to see real change, sign up. Be committee people on whatever political party and make a change. Show up at council meetings. Let your voices be heard. I thank TCP for being that voice for our community because it is lacking. So I'm just, like I said, I'm really excited about what goes on, what's happening. South End is very involved. Any way we can help you, we're going to be there for you. You know, come. We got a wealth of information. I have a wealth of information. You're talking about grants, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you. But let's connect, okay?
Yeah.
But we wanted to come and promote our Fun Pink Pageant. This is our 5th Fun Pink Pageant. I have Desi Adams. She's my co-chair. Her and Alice Sanders. And this is the 5th time we had this. And this came about, somebody very dear and close to my heart had got breast cancer, and they were 39 years old. And, you know, so I started working with our sister church in Harrisburg, and the secretary, and I was the secretary at Ray's Temple at the time. So we were talking, and I'm like, you know, so-and-so has breast cancer. I want her to give her own testimony. That's why I'm not mentioning names.
Right.
But and she said, well, I do Making Strides, the walk. So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to make a team in Lancaster. We're going to do this walk. So it's about raising money. So we go out to eat afterwards. I said, look, we got to come up with a fundraiser. We need to be able to just raise money instead of out asking people every year to give money.
Yeah.
So we came up with the Fun Pink Pageant to raise money for breast cancer awareness. It is for women that are 40 and older. You do not have to be a survivor of breast cancer. Some of our contestants are. It's just a fun time to walk the runway. And we have 3 different categories that they can compete in. Desi will let you talk about
categories
this excitement.
The categories that you can compete in is first you do an introduction about yourself. You can wear casual wear, anything out of your closet. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. Then you got the pink theme wear. That is a theme wear that you wear something in pink. It's like you say it's like you're doing a rainy day. You come out in a pink raincoat. And you dazzle the audience, and you come out with a pink umbrella. And then the third category is formal wear, and that also can come out of your closet. It does not have to be pink. You can dress any formal wear, and you don't have to have a gown or anything. But like I said, it can come out of your closet. The third one is the talent show. It does not have to be. You don't have to participate in the talent show. It's optional. And it's your talent of your choice. And like I said, the voting comes from the audience, and we will have 3 judges.
Yes. It's exciting. What we do is we have, for the talent show, we have 3 judges that'll judge the talent show winner, and the winner wins $100. And then for the pageant itself, the audience votes on the winner, and the winner wins $500 to the charity of their choice. Because you got to give and give, So it's exciting. It's been very fun. This is our 5th year. It is really, really grown. It's going to be on Saturday, August the 20th at 4 p.m. at the Lancaster Mennonite Arts Center on 2176 Lincoln Highway. We do have a website that you can go to. It is bit.ly/funpinkpageant. All that information is on there. This is exciting. South End would love to come back and talk about all the things we're doing. We want to encourage people, come out. Women 40 and older, you have a great time.
Right. How can I sign my mom up?
Yeah, I got your papers right here for you. She would enjoy it.
I know she would.
We spend the whole day together, and and the women just have fun. They just enjoy themselves. Darlene Joy won our first year. Lavina Johnson won the second year. Deb Good won, and who was our 4th winner? I think Shelley Whitman won our 4th year.
Yes.
So we have people from Harrisburg. We have people from York.
Yes.
So, and like I said, it's women having a good time, raising money for a great cause. This year we're giving to the Pennsylvania Breast Coalition. So we give money to them. The first 3 years we gave to Making Strides. walk, and now we're dealing with the Pennsylvania Breast Coalition. Alice Sander, who works with us, she's the chair for the Southern District for the Breast Coalition. So it is very exciting. We want to encourage you to come out, have a good day. Tickets are $20. You want to come and you want to be able to vote for your contestant of choice. $20. Kids are $5. So if you're 9 and under, it's $5. Everything is done electronically. So we did go a little bit high tech with the voting.
Good. It makes it easier.
Right.
Makes it easier.
Right.
Good.
Right. Use the technology.
I'm glad.
We're using that technology. So we just, like I said, we really want to encourage people to come out. And like I said, we'd love to come back on and talk about South End. I would like to come on, not as a representative of South End, but as Darlene Bird.
Hey.
Hit on some of these areas.
Yes.
Roe versus Wade. That is just the beginning.
Yes.
The real ID. Come on now.
You should have been talking the whole show.
I had to stay focused. I'm willing to come back and go deep.
Look, you know where we at now.
All right. Yep.
I know. I'm excited about that. And I congratulate you on your building.
Thank you.
Anything, South End's here for you all.
Thank you.
We're
That
here.
means-
Don't be in need and not reach out.
Yes.
Because
yes,
that's
that
what
means a
we're
lot.
all about. That's what we're all about.
That means a lot.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yes.
I remember. I remember when you all came to speak with us when we had Hip Hop and Politics.
Yes.
And we were at the Liberty Place at that time.
Yes.
This was about 4
Dara
years.
and Betty came. Yes.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
So to see like it
Still.
continue.
Yes.
And grow from that point. I mean, like it's amazing.
Yes.
Because especially when you talk about situations, events, specifically put on by people that look like us.
Yes.
There may not be that continuity, there may not be that longevity,
Right.
because we're getting better at supporting,
Yes,
but there
we're
still
getting better.
is that struggle for
Yes.
support at times. So to see this still going on, and just to hear the excitement and to see some people from our audience, like Dr. Ricks, she said, "Did I hear 40 and over?" And
Yes.
says, "Finally."
40 and over. 40 and over.
Yes.
So, Ms. Darlene, like
Yes.
anything that you all need
Yes.
from us, please do not hesitate to ask. I would love to possibly live stream portions of it or live stream it all. We can definitely talk about it, but if there's a way that we can help you all out with the broadcasting or the live streaming, we would definitely be there to help. And then and then also want to ask you this: what's the reasoning behind all of this? Like why did you all decide to put this together, to put this on?
Yeah, and like I said, it was the closeness of someone experiencing breast cancer in the family. And, you want to be there, you want to help, you want them to say, here's a cure, and that's a whole nother topic of cancer and, that we could talk about as far as we can send a man to the moon, but we can't find a cure for cancer.
Yeah.
So, that's a whole nother topic, but really that's what, touched my heart. We really wanted to do something, and you may not know, but there are a lot of younger black people now under the age of 40 that you finding out are having breast cancer. Right now, they were recommending at the age of 40 that you start getting your mammograms, but we're finding out there are a lot of younger women actually having breast cancer now. So we really want to spread that awareness out there. Last year, we were lucky to have somebody from Harrisburg that does a prostate cancer come out and set up a table, and especially for people like us, to just let people know the information. We don't know enough sometimes, and it's not that it's not there. We just have a hard time reaching our people about things. So, Yes.
Yeah, I think that's really important, right? Or even just knowing about the risk factors.
Yes.
Many moons ago, when I was a younger person, I did a research project in high school on breast cancer. And one of the things that I learned was that for women that got their menstrual cycle before like age 13 or 14
Yes.
had an increased risk
Yes.
of contracting breast cancer.
Yes.
And it's crazy because it's like that's just a natural part of growing.
Growing, exactly.
And yet this could be a something that can determine if you get this type of disease.
Yeah.
So how do you continue to make people aware in the community about an issue like this? Because there are a number of women and girls who get their periods at a younger age, and they seem to be getting younger and younger.
Yes.
So how do you teach them about this? How do you empower them, right? Because I was a young person and I read that. I said to myself, oh, so I'm going to die early.
That's the math, right? At the age you do the math, right?
I'm going to die early. I might not make it to 60 years old according to what I'm reading and what this looks like. But I'm a kid, I'm 30-something now. I feel a little bit different. But as a child, trying to do the research and trying to learn more, about what may happen with our bodies, right? I love this. Are you guys doing anything out in the community with younger children or anything like that in regards to breast cancer awareness?
No, we're not, because South End really doesn't. Our focus is not just breast cancer. I mean, this was just a fundraiser that we wanted to take on and help. And like we work with different survivor groups. Sisters Are Us from Philadelphia has a lot of information. She came up and she was a contestant. And so she has a lot of information. That is not our focal point as South End Concerned Neighbor, but it's something that we need to bring awareness and attention to so that we can reach out to these organizations that are getting funds to get to our community and reach our community and let our young people know.
Now, if anybody that's watching, we do have some entrepreneurs that do watch the show. Are you guys looking for sponsors for the Fun Pink Pageant? And if so, how can they contact you all?
Yes, we are looking for sponsors for the Fun Pink Pageant. And the best way to contact us is SACNINK@Comcast.net. That is South End Concerned Neighbors email. We do have, we have at least 9 members, Wanda Gantz and Gail Cologne and Alice Sanders and Desi Maria Folk and I shouldn't have started mentioning names. Betty Jones.
Now you're going to forget somebody and somebody going to be mad.
But there's a whole committee of people that are working. Wanda Gantz is taking, we do have a few vendor spots open up. So there are some vendor spots that people can come out, and they did very well last year. And, like I said, it's really, really exciting. It's growing. We spoke with Ann Barshinger 5 years ago when we started this, and she was one of our sponsors. And she had said to me, she said, now look, she said, if you're going to do a fundraiser, you got to at least do it 5 years before you make a decision to keep going and make it annually. She said, you're not going to know for 5 years. So this is our 5th year. So we're making
right.
Yes. We definitely want to do it. And hopefully people will come on and take over and keep having, the Fun Pink Pageant, and maybe, as we can continue to donate to breast cancer, we also want to use it as a fundraiser to give to our community. So where we can raise money and maybe we pick a different organization to donate that money to within our community. So, we're excited.
Folks, we want to let you know that you are listening and watching TCP in the morning, the best thing that you can have in your cup. Want to let you know that the May issue of the TCP magazine is available right now. If you want your copy, go on ahead and put your email in the comment section. Or if you don't want it sent to you directly, you can just click on the link that we provided you all in the comment section. We sit down and speak with
Lacey Ladisall, the only woman barber, business owner at that in the city of Lancaster, and we tell her story on how she got to that position and the transition she made from working in a salon to a barber shop. We also sit down and speak with Isaac Eder, who explains how it is being a transracial adoptee, being a black man adopted by white parents and dealing with the struggles of integrating, or rather them integrating you into their family. Some scathing details. Cannot wait to have him on the show so that we can talk about adoptive services, foster care services, and all those other services alike. There's actually a service where they place kids in new homes because 3 to 5% of all adoptions nationwide are returned. So there are organizations where their whole point is just to relocate those kids to new homes instead of them having going back to the orphanage. So folks, we unpack a whole lot in this May edition of TCP Magazine. So please make sure you get your copy. But now we got to do what pays the bills. Lady L, can you tell us about Busy Bodies Cafe?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you a whole lot more about Busy Bodies Cafe. So, yes, Busy Bodies Cafe is an indoor play gym for little kids, infants, really, to 6 years old. It is now open at the Rockville outlets. Listen, it is a place for you to have your mommy play dates, your mommy and me dates. If you want to do, your mom's meet up there, you can do that, too, all at Busy Bodies Play Cafe, now open at the shops at Rockville. And listen, they're actually having an ice cream social, fun for the whole family, happening on Monday, May 23rd. We're going to drop a link down in the comment section so you can get your tickets for the ice cream social at Busy Bodies Play Cafe, an interactive play center for children, infant to 6 years old. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's what's happening at Busy Bodies.
So folks, also this Saturday from 6:30 to 8:30, you can meet and greet Dana Hamp-Gulick and her campaign team and have some good eating provided by Afro Boricua. You can come on down to 735 Lafayette Street again on Saturday, 6:30 to 8:30, and enjoy some good eating and meet a possible candidate, somebody that may be representing you in the 96th district for Pennsylvania.
Yes, and we want to tell you that National Action Network, that Reverend Al Sharpton started, No Justice, No Peace, now has a Lancaster chapter.
Oh,
and
right.
we
Yes,
will
yes.
be hosting a debate on May the 12th.
Awesome.
Between City Council President Izzy and City Councilwoman Janet. So it's at 6 o'clock at Garden Court. Come out, ask your questions, and see who we need to be voting for. We know. Okay.
Yes. So folks, we have about 9 minutes left in our program. Want to go back to our guests so that they can say their final words. Tell you all where they can be located. I'm definitely going to Halo's Kitchen
today.
Did you talk about the prom tickets?
What time you open?
Prom tickets are on sale right now. We have the early bird special. If you get the magazine, there's a link in the magazine that goes straight to the early bird special. So get the magazine, you get the link to the early bird special, save yourself some money on the adult prom that is happening September 10th at the Ware Center. So let's take it to the fellas. First, fellas, again, one more time,
name of your business, what you do, and where people can find you and your hours of operation.
Halo's Kitchen, you can go down to Facebook. You can go to Facebook.
Turn your mic off. There you go.
All right, there we go. We were having a sidebar conversation. So, Halo's Kitchen, you can find us on Halo's Kitchen on Facebook, Halo's Kitchen 717 on Instagram. We're open today, 11 to 7. We'll at the takeout location, 11 to 7 at the takeout location on Wednesday. On Friday, we're open 11 to 7 as well. We'll be at Landis Valley Museum, Herb Garden and Fair on our food truck 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday. So you can come check us out those days. We have a couple events. All our events are posted on Facebook. Our menu's posted on Facebook. That's our summer menu. It's posted on Facebook, so you can go check that out. We're also, like I said, we're going to have our guest chef chefing it up, some chicken and waffles, red rice and beans. So some cornbread, baby. The fish and grits. So
yes.
30 West James.
30 West James Street. And look for us because we're doing some other big things, but just you stay close to us because we're moving and we're moving big.
Yeah.
So look for us.
There it is. Ladies.
And the guest chef, I knew him as a little kid at Ray's Temple growing up. So, yes, I know he cooks, and I know he cooks good. I know he was cooking in the church. So, definitely. But Fun Pink Pageant, Saturday, August the 20th. This is the 5th Fun Pink Pageant. Come out and support us. Come out and enjoy. If you're 40 and under, sign up to be a contestant. 40 and over, I'm sorry. Sign up to be a contestant. You will have fun that day. We guarantee it. South End Concerned Neighbors, thank you.
All right, Lady L.
All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. I want to thank our guests for coming by and just remind you that those early bird prom tickets are on sale and you're going to want to get them because they are only a limited quantity of them. So yes, please go on ahead, get your prom tickets, find you a date, or maybe go with a friend. That's all good. Also, don't forget that the May issue of the TCP Digital Magazine is online. It is up. Maybe you might have gotten it if you subscribe to the TCP e-blast. You may have gotten your copy before the morning show. And if you haven't checked your email, you better get to it because I promise you there's a copy of the magazine in there for you. Also, don't forget the TCP Media and Art Center is open for memberships. Need a place to paint? Need a place to edit? Need a place to do some audio and video? Listen, come on down for a tour at the Arts and Media Center and see if membership is a good fit for you. Over to the desk.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will see you again tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. And also, again, there's the Dana Hamp Gulick event that is happening here, 735 Lafayette Street, 6:30 to 8:30 on Saturday. We also have a basketball game that we will be broadcasting as well. The Red Rose Thunder will be playing at home again this Saturday. So, folks, want to send a heartfelt shout out and condolences to Sarge and his family as they are at a funeral today, dealing with a family loss. Please take your time, brother. And on that note, folks, I'm not going to do the infamous Sarge voice, but I'm going to leave you with this quote. Change begins at the end of your comfort zone. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. And the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old you, but on building the new you. On that, folks, note, on that note, folks,
he was almost out. He was almost out.
On that note, folks, we're going to put a pin in it And we'll see you in church.
Dana Hamp Gulick. I'm a candidate for the 96th House District, and this is my story. Born here in Lancaster, I went to Menthol Township High School. I went to the University of Pittsburgh, where I earned 2 bachelor's degrees, one in German language and one in communications. And then I started my career in marketing. People should vote for me because I'm going to bring the bold moves and the vocal advocacy and the willingness to really be strategic and to push on pushable places and pull on the pullable ones. I'm going to do the work that I think is not being done in this district right now. Most important is that I am a single mother to a 17-year-old daughter. I am a caregiver to my aging mother, and I serve on the board of 2 local nonprofits that help families in crisis. 2022 brings us a brand new district in the 96th that has been redrawn, and we have an opportunity to send 2 Democrats from Lancaster County to Harrisburg for the very first time ever. There has been the same representative here for 30 years, and a lot has changed in 30 years. The world has changed drastically since my opponent was first elected. And I think now is the time to replace somebody who is comfortable and out of touch with somebody who is hungry and passionate and wants to do this work. I'm going to focus on raising the minimum wage immediately so that families can work 40 hours a week and afford a place to live. Everybody, every family should be safe, healthy, and thriving. And I think I'm the person for that at this time. My name is Dana Hamp Gulick. I'm candidate for State House in the new 96th District, and I approve this message.